first thing that comes to mind, one of the UMass announcers asked me what it felt like at the end. What did I feel like? And I said, I think I can relate to Big Poppy when he hits a walk-off home run in the 11th, because that's what it felt like, given the nature of the overtime with the killing in 5 minutes and then getting the power play opportunity. It was, the emotion of it and the intensity of it was everything that was built. Just, you know, being in the environment, the guys obviously on both teams wanting to make a creditable showing, making sure that they left it all on the ice. That was undoubtedly clear that we did. It was a playoff type of environment, and so that brings out a lot of good in teams and will help us hopefully down the stretch. So it was a great event from my perspective.
Questions at this time for Jeff Teglia or Michael Marcou?
Michael, when you were thinking about this game, did you kind of daydream about that as a possibility?
Yeah, every time you play a big game like this outdoors in front of a lot of people, you always vision yourself scoring the overtime winner, and it's important. My first one ever, so it's a pretty good experience to have it here at Fenway.
Michael, can you take us through the play, describe it for us?
Yeah, it started on the power play, and me and Joel Hanley switched sides, so I was on my off wing, and the puck went down, I believe TJ Steiner, down on it by the net, and I, kind of creeped around the high slot area, and then I got a puck. The puck squirted out and got a shot and got a good rebound and put it in.
Keep the puck?
No.
This is for either of the players. When did this become another important close game? It's a game you got to win. You got to focus on playing. Or did it ever get to that point with the atmosphere?
I think everyone came in having it as a big game in their mind. I think there was a ton of intensity on both sides. Us and Vermont. I don't know what else to say. But
well, was there any time that you forgot that this game was in Fenway Park?
I think once you get into it, any game, it's all about the game. It's all about the scoreboard. I think guys really kept it between the glass, but at the same time, you can't help but notice you're at Fenway Park. It's an unbelievable experience. I'll never forget it.
Jeff, when did you find out you were starting, and what that means to you to get to be the guy and get to go in the game like this?
I found out this morning. I can't tell you how much it meant to me to get the start tonight. It was a great opportunity, and I thank my teammates for helping me make the most of it. Obviously, it was my first win. I couldn't have asked for anything else. It's just an unbelievable experience. I'll never forget this, and I'm sure everyone who took part of it won't forget it.
Jeff, can you talk about what was going through your mind when you saw Vermont's Marcusson right out in front? I think it was 59 seconds.
Yeah.
Of the overtime.
Yeah. That was right at I think the end of our kill on the 5-minute. Puck sort of went behind the net. I think one of our defensemen went to play it, and the guy made it just a really nice quick play, chipping it out from behind the net to Marcusson out in front of me. And it was such a bang play. I sort of gapped out a little bit as much as I could, and that took away enough angle for me to catch it. I sort of caught it right between my chest and my arm, and held on to it.
Mike, can you talk about the amount of minutes that you must have been playing and the penalty killing, and how much fatigue might have been involved, for coming out and scoring the overtime winner?
Yeah, late in the game you're always tired, but it's all about taking the short shifts and pacing, not pacing yourself, but going hard 30 seconds at a time, and you have one game tonight, and that's your job, and I try and do nothing but just to leave it all out there, and I feel like after the game, if I have something left in my body, then I feel like I didn't leave it all out there, and it'll upset me. So.
One more question for the players. Joe.
Mike, can you talk about the last 3 days? At this point in the season, you guys need points badly. The way you've got points in these last 3 days, it was pretty dramatic fashion both times.
Yeah, the last 3 days, Coach really emphasized, we were playing at Fenway, we couldn't look past Providence, so, we gotta play one game at a time, take it day by day, and, that's what you gotta do every day, and take it day by day and accomplish, you just gotta accomplish what happens next.
All right, guys, thank you very much for your excuse. More questions at this time? Yes, go. More questions at this time for Coach Cahoon?
Toot, based on not just their play, but whatever chatter you might have heard on the bench, were you happy with the way your guys settled into, being a part of the game and not just the event itself?
Well, the guys used an expression that we use frequently, keep it between the class, and we talked about maturity. And with this group of kids, it's been all about maturity over the last year and a half, trying to gain some. And we talked about, keeping it between the glass and having a maturity level that allowed them to stay with what they do. So that we treated it like another Hockey East game. We knew it was more. You couldn't help but feel the intensity of the crowd and just the party-like atmosphere. It's 50 degrees out, and it's like, oh my God, it's, anything but what I thought, and I think everybody else thought. But the ice was in pretty good shape, and the guys didn't complain anything about at all about the conditions. So that crew deserves a great applause for what they were able to do.
Naturally, just because of the conditions, the ice does have to break down a little bit towards the end. It seemed like the puck was dying a little bit, the game was slowing down. Does that change the strategy at all? Do you have to tell the guys, shorter passes, that kind of thing?
I don't know if you've watched the 24/7 that's been going on with HBO, and in that segment just last night, they had both Tortorella and Laviolette from Philadelphia talking about what they were trying to do with the ice conditions. It was about playing a linear game, and it was about keeping it simple. And our defense do a little bit more with the puck in the middle of the rink because of the size of the ice surface at the Mullen Center. And I insisted that we didn't get into that mode. So that was one of the biggest adjustments. And so if you remember, early in the game, the whole emphasis was get it out, get it in. There wasn't much going on in the middle of the rink. And I think as the game went on, that philosophy served us okay. We didn't give up the 3-on-2s, we didn't give up the big-time breaks. What we did do is, take too many penalties, but we survived them.
John,
So it looked like in the second period you were skating 3 lines, and in the third period you went to four lines. How much did that help?
Well, I really matched lines as best I could. And they were playing 3 lines, pretty much. Their fourth line didn't get a lot of ice time. I could spot my fourth line because I have a couple of experienced guys in that group and a good defensive player. And then, so I got a little bit more for my fourth line on odd shifts. And then used, obviously, Seafield and Angelo repeatedly on the PK, which that last PK, we had 3 groups going. And I was really pleased with all 3. I didn't think any one of them was any weaker than the other, which was huge for us to get through.
Don, you seem happy with the way you guys handled the whole atmosphere thing. As you entered the ice just before the game, was that a concern to you? Were you that confident then that they'd be able to be emotional but also focus?
Well, one of the reasons that we decided to go with Tegs, obviously, if it didn't work out, people say, geez, why would you play a goal that hadn't won at this level? He's given us some good games and we haven't played great in front of him. He knows the areas of the game that he has to work on. But he's one of the most mature guys in our program. He's a 3.95 student. He was the top student athlete in the USHL before he came to UMass. He's got a level head and a disposition that I thought would be able to walk into this environment and be able to just deal with the task at hand and not get caught up with everything else. It was all about playing his position to the best of his ability. And I think the kids fed off of that. So maturity was a big piece of it. And even though it came from a sophomore, it came from a very bright, astute young guy that's at the head of the class.
Bono right here.
Coach, Danny Hobbs is one of the guys who kind of struggled a little bit for us semester. He's been putting up points the last few games. Just how do you know what's changed with his play and gotten going?
Well, he's healthy. Danny, he's a pretty tough kid who played the majority of the first half of the season. As the trainers hate to hear this expression, but dinged up and had a variety of little problems that were really nagging injuries. So we'd get him into one game a weekend, or maybe sometimes the second game, but he might not have practiced more than 30 minutes in the week. So the difference is right now he's back full tilt, practicing every day. He's a good, solid player and a real hard-nosed kid.
Coach, thank you very much.